Hello, everyone. Today, I want to share with you my story about discovering the beauty of living joyfully alone in old age. I'm a man who has journeyed through the ebbs and flows of life. And as I reflect on my golden years, I realize that society's insistence on having a large circle of friends is not only outdated, but, in many ways, unnecessary. I want to speak honestly with you about how embracing solitude, focusing on quality over quantity, and nurturing deep, meaningful relationships have transformed my life. When I look back on my younger days, I remember the pressure to constantly prove myself, to be socially active, to network, and to keep up with endless social obligations. Back then, friendship was often measured by the number of people you knew, the parties you attended, and the impressions you made. However, as I entered old age, something profound shifted inside me. I discovered that genuine happiness isn't about filling your calendar with names and events. Instead, it's about finding peace within yourself and learning to appreciate the simplicity and depth of everyday moments. I realized early on that the need for a large social circle diminishes when you understand that life's most valuable connections come from the heart, not from the sheer number of acquaintances. In my later years, I embraced a philosophy of self-reliance, a belief that true contentment comes from within. Instead of trying to please everyone or chasing after fleeting validation, I turned my focus inward. I began to cherish the simple joys: a quiet morning with a cup of coffee, a walk in the park, or even a moment of reflection while watching the sunset. These moments, though seemingly small, have a richness that no crowded party or casual conversation could ever provide. In a way, this journey toward self-discovery was liberating. I learned to let go of the old notion that I needed to have a constant stream of friends to feel valued. Instead, I began to prioritize my inner world, finding strength and comfort in my own company. This wasn't an act of selfish isolation. Rather, it was an honest acceptance that I had grown wiser through years of joys and struggles, and I no longer felt the need to prove my worth through the opinions or expectations of others. As I looked around, I noticed that the relationships that truly mattered were those that had endured over time, like the bond with my family or a trusted friend who had been there through thick and thin. Family, I realized, became a cornerstone of emotional support. The laughter of my children, the warmth of a conversation with my spouse, and even the gentle teasing of my grandchildren provided a kind of fulfillment that superficial friendships never could. I found that these relationships, built on a foundation of shared history and unconditional love, resonated much more deeply than the transient connections I had once sought. At the same time, I discovered a renewed sense of connection with my community. Whether it was the friendly nod of a neighbor or the welcoming smile at my local coffee shop, these small interactions reminded me that belonging doesn't always mean having a long list of names. Instead, it's about the quality of the connection, feeling seen, heard, and valued by those around you. As I navigated these changes, I also began to understand the immense value of solitude and reflection. Many people mistakenly believe that being alone equates to loneliness, but I have learned that solitude can be a sanctuary, a time to reconnect with your inner self, to reflect on your experiences, and to savor the beauty of your own thoughts. In these quiet moments, I found that I was able to process memories, both joyous and painful, and extract wisdom from them. Solitude became not a void, but a space brimming with potential for creativity and personal growth. It was in these moments that I truly understood that being content with my own company was not only possible, but also incredibly fulfilling. Now, you might be wondering, if old age means fewer friends, does that mean a life of isolation? Absolutely not. Instead of chasing the idea of having a large social network, I shifted my focus to nurturing a handful of relationships that truly matter. I discovered that quality always trumps quantity. It's better to have a few close, sincere relationships than to spread yourself thin across numerous superficial connections. With age, the energy you once invested in maintaining endless social obligations is better used to deepen the bonds that bring true joy and peace into your life. I encourage you to think about the people who have been there for you throughout your journey, those who offer understanding, empathy, and genuine care. These are the relationships that sustain you, and they deserve your time and attention. Moreover, living joyfully alone has also taught me the art of letting go of societal expectations. For many of us, the idea of success has been entwined with having a bustling social life, a thriving network, and constant engagement in social events. Yet, as we age, the pressure to conform to these external standards fades away. You come to understand that your worth isn't measured by how many friends you have or how often you attend gatherings. It's defined by the richness of your experiences, the wisdom you've accumulated, and the love you share with those who matter most. This realization brings with it a profound sense of freedom. The freedom to live authentically, without the burden of trying to meet everyone else's expectations. I invite you to reflect on your own life. What truly brings you joy? How do you want to invest your precious time and energy? It's a conversation worth having, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. In practical terms, growing older also means acknowledging the realities of physical health, mobility, and energy levels. There comes a time when it is perfectly acceptable to scale back, to find simpler ways to connect with others, and to adapt your social habits to fit your current lifestyle. I've experienced firsthand how the rigors of maintaining a large network can become overwhelming. Instead, I learned to appreciate the convenience and comfort of smaller, more manageable interactions. Whether it's a phone call with a loved one, a brief visit with a neighbor, or a simple email exchange with an old friend, these forms of communication can be just as meaningful. Embracing technology, for instance, has allowed me to stay connected with those who are far away, proving that distance doesn't have to equate to disconnection. Another crucial aspect of this journey has been recognizing the inevitable cycle of loss and the emotional toll that comes with aging. As time passes, we naturally witness the departure of friends and loved ones, and these experiences can be incredibly painful. However, these losses also serve as a reminder to cherish the relationships that remain and to hold dear the memories of those who have gone before us. In my own life, I have come to view these moments not as a series of endings, but as chapters in a long, rich narrative. Each relationship, whether it has lasted a lifetime or has quietly faded into the background, has contributed to the person I am today. And rather than mourning what is lost, I choose to celebrate the legacy of love and wisdom that continues to shape my existence. Speaking of legacy, one of the most powerful gifts that come with old age is the wisdom earned from a lifetime of experiences. This wisdom isn't something you can acquire overnight. It's the result of facing challenges, learning from mistakes, and savoring moments of triumph. It's a treasure that no material wealth can ever match. I have learned that sharing this wisdom, whether through conversations with family, writing down my thoughts, or simply living as an example, is a way to leave a lasting imprint on the world. This legacy isn't about accumulating accolades or impressing others. It's about offering insights that might help someone else navigate their own journey. I encourage you to think about the lessons you have learned over the years. What wisdom would you pass on to future generations? Opening up this dialogue can be both healing and inspiring, as it reminds us that our experiences are valuable and that our stories matter. Redefining connections in old age has been another transformative realization. Earlier in life, connection often meant frequent, intense interactions, gathering in groups, engaging in lengthy conversations, or simply being busy. But as I've grown older, I've come to understand that connection can be more subtle and more spontaneous. It might be the warm greeting from a stranger, the sound of laughter echoing through the halls of a community center, or even a moment of silence shared with a dear friend. These fleeting yet sincere moments have taught me that connection is not about how long you interact, but how fully present you are in each moment. By embracing this broader definition of connection, I have discovered that the world is full of opportunities to engage meaningfully, even if the interactions are brief. Whether it's a smile exchanged on a morning walk or a thoughtful conversation over a cup of tea, these moments of genuine human interaction are priceless. Throughout this journey, I've come to value the importance of self-love and acceptance above all else. The greatest companion you can ever have is yourself. In a world that often demands constant validation from others, learning to appreciate your own company is nothing short of revolutionary. I've spent years trying to fit into roles that didn't truly reflect who I am. But now I embrace the freedom of being unapologetically me. This acceptance is not just about feeling comfortable in your skin, it's about realizing that your worth is inherent, not determined by external accolades or the number of people around you. It's a liberating experience that I believe everyone, especially as we grow older, should strive to achieve. I invite you to take a moment today and reflect on your relationship with yourself. How can you nurture that inner bond? How can you learn to find joy in solitude, just as I have? In our modern world, where social media and digital connections often replace genuine face-to-face interactions, it's important to remember that nothing can substitute the authenticity of a heartfelt conversation. While technology can be a useful tool to bridge gaps, it's the depth of the dialogue that ultimately matters. I encourage you to use these digital tools to supplement your relationships, not replace them. Instead of scrolling endlessly or exchanging fleeting likes, consider reaching out to someone for a real conversation. Ask them how they're really doing. Share your own experiences, your challenges, and your triumphs. In doing so, you'll find that the bonds you form in person, grounded in empathy and mutual understanding, are far more fulfilling and enduring. As I reflect on my own experiences, I am reminded that aging is not a period of decline or isolation. It is a time of liberation and rediscovery. It is an opportunity to redefine what matters most in life, to let go of old expectations, and to focus on the relationships and activities that truly nourish your soul. I speak to you today not as someone who has all the answers, but as a fellow traveler on this journey toward understanding and self-fulfillment. Each of us has a unique story, and each story is filled with moments of joy, sorrow, growth, and learning. The beauty of life lies in embracing every experience, whether it's the comfort of a long-standing family bond, the quiet solace of a solitary walk, or the unexpected kindness of a stranger. I urge you to join me in this conversation. Share your experiences, your struggles, and your moments of triumph. Let's open up about what it means to live joyfully alone and how redefining our approach to friendships and relationships can lead to a more meaningful, peaceful existence. In a world that often measures success by the number of connections you have, I stand before you to remind you that the depth of those connections is what truly counts. Let's challenge the notion that our worth is determined by the size of our social circle. Instead, let's celebrate the small, authentic interactions that light up our lives and nurture our souls. To everyone listening, know that you are enough just as you are. You don't need to fill your life with endless acquaintances or attend every social gathering to prove your worth. Your journey is unique, and your experiences are invaluable. Embrace the freedom that comes with letting go of societal pressures and learn to appreciate the beauty of your own company. In doing so, you create space for the relationships that matter most, those built on trust, love, and genuine understanding. As we continue this conversation about aging, friendship, and self-reliance, I invite you to reflect on your own life. What has your journey taught you about the nature of connection? How have your relationships evolved over time? And what lessons have you learned along the way? I believe that by sharing our stories, we can inspire one another to live more authentically and with greater purpose. Whether you're reminiscing about long-lost friendships or cherishing the quiet moments of solitude, each experience contributes to the rich tapestry of who you are. In closing, let me leave you with this thought. Old age is not a time of diminishing light, but a time when that light burns even brighter from within. The wisdom you gain over the years is a gift, not just to yourself, but to everyone whose life you touch. Cherish every memory, every lesson, and every connection, no matter how fleeting. And remember, the journey to self-acceptance and genuine fulfillment is one that we all share. By embracing the freedom to live joyfully alone, you open the door to a life filled with meaning, purpose, and the kind of deep, resonant connection that transcends the superficial. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. I encourage you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's support each other as we navigate this beautiful, sometimes challenging journey of aging gracefully. Whether you agree wholeheartedly or you have a different perspective, your voice matters. Together, we can redefine what it means to be truly connected, not by the quantity of our relationships, but by the quality of our lives and the authenticity of our hearts. Remember, living joyfully alone isn't about isolation. It's about finding strength in who you are, learning to love yourself, and letting that inner light guide you. So, let's keep this conversation going. Let's talk about the moments that have shaped us, the relationships that have enriched us, and the wisdom that we have to offer. I look forward to hearing from you, and until next time, take care, cherish every moment, and always remember, you are enough, just as you are.